Sales networking. Now, this is actually personally one of my favorite topics to train for lawyers. It's especially useful for young lawyers. And the amazing thing is, most lawyers have no idea what they're meant to do when they go to networking events. It doesn't matter if it's an exhibition, if it's a conference, if it's something by AmCham, the British Chamber of Commerce, whatever it is. Quite often lawyers don't really know what they're meant to do. And even worse, most lawyers are not social butterflies. Many lawyers, they don't feel comfortable approaching new groups of people, introducing themselves, and they might have the misconception that they're meant to present their firm, they're meant to sell. You mustn't do that at networking. So, in the topic of sales networking, we look at the practicalities of how to change a networking event into something which is kind of uncomfortable and maybe not that tolerable, into something which actually gets you nice results. So, to begin with, we look at how do you enter a group. You're at a networking event, there's people standing around, what do? You're not allowed to stand in a corner doing emails on your BlackBerry. You have to meet people. The direct approach is not what you do. This is an especially bad idea with the Europeans. You don't assertively walk up to a group and introduce yourself. Much better to use, it's called the comet approach, so we look at that. And then, once you're actually in a conversation with the people, do you know how to introduce yourself? Your first impression might be made within 5 seconds or 7 seconds. You need to have an elevator speech, so we look at that as well. Next, and a very big problem for lawyers, it's called the other lawyer objection. What happens when you meet a nice potential client, but they then say, oh, we're working with ABC lawyers, we're working with our in-house counsel, we don't need you. At that point, most lawyers give up. You mustn't give up. You have to be able to overcome the other lawyer objection. So we examine how to do that. Needless to say, your conversion ratio is extremely important to measure for networking. We can anticipate that if you get 10 business cards, and I recommend setting for yourself a number of cards that you need to receive, perhaps 7 of them after the networking event you can probably put in the bin. They're not going to be useful. Of those 3 good contacts, you need to follow up with them within 24 to 48 hours. This is another rule that many lawyers don't understand. You need to follow up quickly. Of those follow-ups, which cannot be plain vanilla, you have to offer a value proposition. You might get 2 meetings resulting in 1 client. If you're not measuring the conversion ratio of your networking activity, again, it's probably a total waste of time. So, sales networking, it doesn't have to be uncomfortable. We can see how to make it fun. It doesn't have to be vague and a repeated activity done over years to build relations. No, you can actually get results from it. We can make networking to a sales activity, and it can be extremely beneficial, even for the youngest of lawyers.